When you think about it, Cardi B really invented TikTok music. Y'all gotta remember, Cardi B is one of them first artists who got signed because they had influence, not because they had talent.
At its best, it is a nice follow-up off of her first project. It also has her being candid, being vulnerable, and quite entertaining at certain moments.
This is coming from someone who pretty much only listens to hip-hop and R&B. Cardi B sucks. Her music sucks. It has always sucked. I've never understood how she got to be as big as she is.
I have mixed feelings about it. Let's start with the good first. That opening song, You Need to Be Giving Me Your Heart as Far as Ever, and Cardi B nails that.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, but Cardi B definitely beat the sophomore album curse. Like, this is actually a pretty good project.
Just got done listening to the Cardi B Am I the Drama album. Every rapper on earth should be getting in the studio tonight.
All right, so this is my review of Cardi B's Am I the Drama album. Overall, the album gets a C-. It was passable, but as a whole full body of work, no.
Salute the real.
Okay.
I don't regret it, still ain't cheap. I ain't get credit, so my true excited cause he go from small to big. When I tell you these niggas ain't shit. If you in my bitch, you just a bitch in the goddamn way.
I know they say that you can take the girl to the Bronx, but you can't take the Bronx out of the girl. But can we at least visit Bora Bora, Bali, Barcelona, Botswana, somewhere? Am I the Drama? I don't know about that title, but what I do know is Cardi B's second addition to her discography has been perhaps the most anticipated, debated, and discussed drop of 2025. And I want to hear your thoughts, so leave them down below. But you are tuned into another episode of Authentic with Alicia, where we keep it real and rooted in purpose. And we are going to discuss not just Cardi B's music, but the media run she's been on, because she has been on a rampage while pregnant. This is not for the meek, weak, or faint of heart. But to start, I want to say something that I haven't heard anyone say as much as I've seen the commentary and the conversation around this. As you know, Cardi B is controversial, charismatic, confident, and captivating. While she's expressing herself in this body of work, or when she speaks on all the platforms that she's been going to recently, there's a lot to be said about trauma. And whether you look at it as trauma with the little t or big T, trauma is something that sticks with you and impacts you. It's something that informs how you see the world, yourself, and how you move because of it. I don't know if it's just me, but I see the shift. There's one point that sticks out to me a lot. I think it was The Breakfast Club, where she was talking about this girl grinning in her face and buying her flowers, but effing her man behind her back. Where do they do that at? The fact that there wasn't even just a moment of pause, like, can we just process this for a second?
I found out you this nigga. Oh God. This how much is weird. Like, so you gave me flowers and I said that I'm pregnant, and then I find out months later that you my y'all was just crazy. This is why it's like, oh my gosh, I want to stay away from everybody.
Not okay. There's two things in my mind right now. One is the commodification of catastrophe, where we love to hear about the drama, the mess, the filth. I mean, after all, she titled it Am I the Drama? On the other hand, there's so many people who think that their celebrities, their faves, have to be going through it in order to make a really good body of art. I don't necessarily believe that. I don't think it's funny to say, oh, I can't wait until so-and-so breaks up or they go through this, because I'm not here to praise or hope for someone's demise. Life is hard enough, okay? I don't know if I'm just sensitive now, because I was clutching my pearls when she said it. Not here for it. If we just stop and take a second to realize that this is one of many things going on, because at the time of recording, now they're starting to say things about Stephon Diggs, and we're not even going to that. This is not that type of channel.
Jump scare. So Cardi B and Nicki Minaj are going at it on Twitter, show. This is
I'm not going to cap. Cardi B has one of the most dumbest cult fan base in history.
Dear Cardi B, step into my office, friend. You are the drama, but we don't need to be in drama.
It was only a matter of time before Nicki Minaj and Cardi B started going back and forth online after Cardi B's album numbers came out.
By the time this legally blind chick edits this and posts it, there'll be even more mess in the media to talk about, so we're not going down that route. What I will say today is Cardi B is someone that just seems to always have something chaotic happen around her, whether it's of her own doing or not. We're not going to really get into today.
So the hip-hop girlies decided last night that they was just going to turn Twitter upside down, huh? I got to stop going to sleep early, because I be trying to be an adult. I go to sleep early and I tell myself I'm going to go to sleep early so I ain't dragging in the morning when I go to work.
Of course, celebrities are critiqued, sometimes to the last crumb. Sometimes they deserve it though. We don't even realize that they're human beings having human experiences, and her experience is really dramatic. I don't know how else to say it. I praise her for turning her pain and problems into a project. At the same time, that's not the life we want for her or will for anybody else. Let's talk a little bit about the music and then I'll talk about what I liked and did not like. So off the top, I give this a solid 7, maybe for the 7 years that it took to come out, because I hate rating things 7. I feel like whenever someone says 7, it's just like they're average. But I think this was above average. I consider 5 an average, 1 to 10. 5 is right in the middle, so 2 notches above is pretty good if you ask me. And I think it's on the same par with IOP, Invasion of Privacy. When I was thinking back, there's only 3 tracks on that album that I really love and return to. Ring, I like it, because who doesn't like I Like It? And Get Up 10. Something about Get Up 10 is just so, I love it. Everything else I don't really go back to. And doing research for this video, I didn't even realize that she was on the Billboard 100 for over 90 weeks. That is no small feat. So this time around, Forbes has projected that she's already hit 200K in a week. That's crazy. Same as the first go round, this project has 3 standout tracks for me. Principles, I love the Janet Jackson flip. I cannot wait to see a music video for it. Trophies, and Safe, because I'm a sucker for Kalani. I'd also add 2 honorary ones. Nice Guy, because I love Tyla, but I was hoping for more an Afrobeat vibe. And Pretty and Petty, because she came shooting out the gate. That song is crazy. Other than that, I feel like this album made me feel old. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. I'm gonna discuss more of what that means when we get to the why I don't like it section. She is a very versatile, diverse artist, so I see her checking off every box with this album. There's some songs that I'm just like, how, Sway? Like Bodega Batty, and some people really ride for that song. I'm just like, Whether you like it, love it, hate it, or are indifferent to it, I want to know, so you can let me know what your thoughts are below. Moving on to more so her media run, because I found this very intriguing. I think of Cardi B as a P rapper, not that P, get your head out of the gutter. Personality rapper. She's someone that I feel like sells herself first, and the music is just a cherry on top. We can get into the discussion of rapping versus artist entertainer, which I think she falls under the category of another time. But what I want to say today is, it's not a slight, it's no tea, no shade for me to say she's more of an artist entertainer, from the aspect and angle that she can do way more than that. That's way more marketable, and for where I could see Cardi B going, like she could have her own line, kind of like Fenty the label. Don't you think that'd be a really good fit for her? And it transcends just a genre of music that I feel is very youthful. Not to say you can't grow with rap, but in fact, I really want to see that. I remember a couple months ago, or maybe years ago, because time is flying, Andre 3000 mentioned like, what am I gonna rap about? I'm like, I would love to hear you rap. More than that flute album, you can keep that. I feel like Cardi B is someone that could change the game in that respect and help rap be something that we can enjoy as we age, or keep it useful and fun. We won't know until we get there, and maybe at this rate it'll be another 7 years, although I hope not. But history does repeat itself, that part.
I'm gonna go on ahead and tell y'all right now, this tour is not happening. Or at least it won't be starting on the date that Cardi B says it's gonna start. All signs are pointing to that she is due around February. The first date of the tour is on February 11th.
What stood out to me with the media run is how much it seems like she's having fun. The first interview I heard was on Apple Music, and I don't remember that guy's name. I want to say it's Zale or something, but he did a phenomenal job of just making sure that she felt grounded. And the theme of that conversation was just the music and the evolution of self.
Even when like people come and try to like help me, it's like I still don't like it. I really went through a crash that nothing was pleasing me.
That's what writer's block feels right.
And I think I was going crazy. Like I feel like I live more in the studio than I live in my house. Like my album is completed now. I could finally get out the studio and probably exercise. Should do something.
I've also seen her on The Breakfast Club. I heard her on Call Her Daddy, which is not my ministry, if I'm completely honest.
We're more direct than like pop girls. We're not like fake, shady. We're going to give you the whole tree of shade.
Okay, he loves rim jobs.
The hell is rim?
IRL and Joe and Jada, and in each of these spaces, she's operated as her whole self. In last week's episode, we discussed the authentic inventory, which is a psychological schema created by a psychologist named Michael Kernis. If you want to look it up, he notes 4 different points of what authenticity means. It's kind of like authenticity basic. The 4th one sticks out to me when it comes to Cardi B: relational orientation. That is to say that you show up as your whole self wherever you are. And it's not like when we go to work, we're not gonna bring our full selves to work. Please don't do that. I highly advise against that. It's more to say that you know how to read the room, and she definitely does, because the conversation she had on Call Her Daddy was definitely not the one she had on IRL.
It'd be hard. You just lose yourself.
Yeah. I'm glad you take that time though for yourself.
Yeah. scary feeling. Like, am I gonna be lonely forever? Am I gonna be able to love again?
I personally love listening to artists share things on podcasts, interview shows. It gives us another facet to the why of their creation, their project, their installation, whatever it may be. With Cardi B, it feels like she's giving us puzzle pieces to a mosaic instead of the standard, this is why I created this song, this is the inspiration, this is my headspace, this is where I'm at in my life. She's talking a lot about motherhood, and as I mentioned, the trauma she's gone in her last relationship. It's been refreshing, which I don't know if that's the right word to say, but there's something to seeing a little bit more about her in a different way, slightly, on every different stage and platform. I hope to see more of it. She's been very busy. Okay, so we talked about the music, what we liked, what we didn't like. So overall, I feel like both the music and the media run has been very cohesive. I feel like she's finding a way to corner every market and do what she needs to do. I was laughing when she was trying to sell her albums in the street because I'm like, this is so Cardi B. The infancy of Instagram, what was she doing? Doing the most. So we can't expect anything else at this stage in the game. It also feels like there's an evolution to self. As much as I feel like she's changed and grown, as we all should, since 7 years ago was 7 years ago. Just to put in perspective, can we just take a second? That's back when the iPhone 8 dropped. God's Plan was on the top of the chart. That's already saying a lot. Rihanna changed the game by offering a wide complexion range. Was there. TikTok was the most downloaded app that year. TikTok is still on top, but I don't know if it's in the same way it was back then as it is now, which I think is part of the problem. But don't let me get ahead of myself. Oh, and a fun one, Black Panther was domineering at the box office. So much has changed since then. We went through a whole pandemic. Like, life has been crazy since then. But let's get into the things that I did not like off the top. This album made me feel old. I'm not saying that the tracks of the vibe were archived, because it doesn't feel like she had these in the tuck and just threw them at us because we've been crying for Cardi B music. It feels more so like I've gotten old. I mean, I was also in my 20s 7 years ago. Let's not talk about that, because what is life?
Alexa, stop. I genuinely think that at a certain age, you just get tired of all this track and all this fighting somebody.
You know when Moses went up to see God and then he came back looking hella old? That's how I felt on the elliptical listening to this track for the first time. Like, really, am I that old? It dawned on me, I don't even listen to music like that anymore. I'm more of a podcast girl. As I've been losing vision, I've been trying to learn more by listening. If I do listen to music, it's more in a sociable setting, and I'm gonna go to the Afrobeats, the soca, and a little bit of dancehall because it gets raunchy real quick. R&B when I'm in my therapeutic cleaning the house stage, and gospel when I need Jesus, okay? Which is every day. Rap doesn't really have the place in my life that it used to, because I'm not where I used to be, and there's no slight against Cardi B or anyone else in that genre of music. Another thing I didn't like, and now I'm gonna sound really old when I say this, is the swearing.
I ain't never even did nothing to you. You know what? Everybody got a turn.
I don't like clean versions too because they always sound so goofy, but swearing in a track or saying something to just be so out there is just not my forte. I'm with people and I don't want to be like cringing every time I hear a curse word or something that's, yeah, no. Let's keep it clean, let's keep it cute. I also notice as much as she is able to read a room, on the other side, she swears a lot when she talks. Can we just find another way to say this? I would just really wish that in the future, art can just stand for itself. I can't help but think, how do we get from the bodega to Bottega, Balenciaga and Balmain? And I don't mean that in a materialistic way, just the elevation of self. You know, they say that you can take the girl to the Bronx, but you can't take the Bronx out of the girl, but can we at least visit Bora Bora, Bali, Barcelona, Botswana, somewhere? I mean to say that there is so much to be lived out there, and when we get so slotted into our situations and scenarios, we don't see outside ourselves. And that's kind of ironic because social media shows us that there's so much world to explore, whether literally or figuratively, and somehow we just recreate the same things that we've seen in the past. I don't want to say too much about her life because that's not my place. I don't care that much. I don't cape for celebrities as much as I try not to critique them because I don't know them personally. Plus, her life is like a swift news cycle.
Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar pay over $50,000 just on her kids alone.
If you're a woman who has her common sense and you go and support Cardi B's album that's dropping today, you're a bum.
Hey, why you wanna act dumb? Why you wanna act dumb?
So Cardi B really got on the mic and said A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
What I will say to wrap up this episode today is I want to see the evolution continue. I want to see what's next in store for her. I really hope there's a third album. I mean, This is the reason why Rihanna is gonna stick to Fenty Beauty. A sad butter drop is the truth. When artists take the time to put out their albums and then we consume it in 2.5 seconds, like we're Formula One racing, just so we can say that we listen to it and we have an opinion on social media, it's discouraging. And it also is inauthentic, because how do you really sit with music? I remember a time when you had to press rewind. Not trying to age myself any more than I already did in this video, but to have the writing on the wall cassette tape and have to rewind between bills and say my name so you can hear it again is something only millennials will ever know. But having everything on your fingertips, being able to switch, flip, and click super quick has really changed not just the industry of music, but so many other areas and aspects of our lives. It's food for thought, just like everything else, but I want to hear your thoughts, so leave it down below. That's where we're going to leave it where it lay today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. You can head over to Patreon for more, where we have 4 different audio podcasts and 1 video essay like this every single month, and a whole bunch of other goodies. So if you want to support, you can head over and learn more. Until next time, stay blessed, stay authentic.